I spent so much of my life not really believing in myself that running has created this new version of me that believes in himself a bit more. That guy has definitely run an ultra. I'm going to say out loud, I'm officially training for my first 100 miler. After 7 years of running, this is the one distance I always swore I would never do and the one I've been absolutely terrified of. But it's time to be brave and train for my first 100-mile run. So I brought you here to the Beaver Challenge with Big Bear to take on my first kind of big, long training session. So it's 6 hours. I'm aiming to go around about 30-mile mark. And it's time to see where my fitness is, because I've got just over 3 months to run 100 miles. 100 miles. 3, 2, 1, and off we go. Okay, so we're into the first lap. Aim of today is, well, A goal is just time on feet. 6 hours, 6 hours on feet. Obviously, I'd love to get to the 9 lap, which would take me to roughly 30 miles. So it's the 3.3 mile loop. This is my first kind of big training run of this training block towards 100 miles. Still terrifies me saying it. I've run 100k races before, so 60-ish miles. But yeah, there's a huge unknown chunk of mileage that I'm going to have to discover what my body is capable of doing, which is exciting and very terrifying in equal measure. So I'm taking on the Thames Path 100. But wait, that's really flat and you like hills, James. Correct. But I'm running from London to Oxford, and I live just north of Oxford. It's a short car ride home when I finish, so it's going to feel like I'm running home, which is pretty epic. So there we go. Lap 4 done. 2 hours 15 in. Time for a proper pit stop. And I'm going to talk to you about how I'm actually training this 100 miler. A lot of my long runs, so my 10 to 20-mile runs, will also have another run the next day. So kind of get my body used to rebuilding and constantly moving while fatigued. Whereas there'd be long runs done during, a traditional training block. These are gonna be more like long hikes, with my longest one being kind of 9 to 10 hours on my feet. Anything more than that, I'm just gonna impact my ability to constantly train. So hill training, long runs back to back, and a lot of cycling as well on a static bike, because I can do those during the working hours. Today, a couple of weeks in to training, I'm feeling so much stronger than I did at the very beginning. It's a huge motivator for the next 3 months. Brilliant. Right, let's go for another run, shall we? Let me catch you up on me. So I'm James. I got into running 7 years ago, and well, I hated running my entire life. I absolutely hated it. I would actively avoid any sort of physical exercise, to the extent that I once told PE teacher I was having my period because I didn't know what they were. But I got into running because, well, I was 21 stone and struggling a lot mental health wise. And I needed something. So in the middle of the night, picked up a pair of battered old shoes, headed out the door, did 1k-ish. I never had a watch back then. And It hurt a lot, but I loved it. I felt something, you know, ignite within me. It's kind of spiraled since then. 39 marathons now, and a fair few ultras.
When you're walking the street alone and nobody can hear you go, are you happy?
I've now got a 1.5-year-old kid who is amazing, and one of the things my grandmother used to teach me is we're all stories in the end. So when we're gone, we're kept alive by the stories people tell of your weird and wonderful life. And there's no story in having not run 100 miles. I don't want to tell my kid that I shied away from a challenge. So here we are.
Are you happy?
The thing that I have struggled with since having my daughter is actually getting out and training. Sometimes when all I want to do is play with my kid, so my fitness is not where I want it to be. But I don't want to be skirting the cutoffs like I did in Comrades. And one of the key parts that I feel like having a kid has prepared me for is the lack of sleep. Almost 4 hours in, so coming up to 2/3 of the way through, 2/3 of the way through 50k. I just need to keep trucking now. Go out and try that trail run, because I can promise you, absolutely promise you, there is beautiful things on the other side. Okay, so we are into the last lap. I'm trying to tap in to the motivation to keep going, and this sign perfectly encapsulates that. At school I was told I shouldn't exercise because I was large. When I got into running, there were so many people that told me I couldn't. You know, you can't run a half, you can't run a full, you can't run marathons as half. And it is fuel for me, and I'm hoping there's someone out there that is being told, oh, you can't run that. Use that as fuel. Use it as fuel. This makes me extraordinarily happy to be able to do these things, to hopefully share it. Whew. Hopefully share it with my daughter one day. Right, come on, enough waffle. I need to drag these very tired legs up this hill, and up another couple of hills, and then down, and then around, and to the finish line. Come on, Barbie, let's get party. Can't believe I just said that out loud. And I can see the finish line. Done. And just like that, I am done. So that is 9 laps, 29.5 miles in 5 hours and 51 minutes. And that's just a training run. I have to run 70 more miles. I'm hoping it's maybe inspired you to take on something crazy that you maybe have been terrified of doing, or it's just got you to share your story down in the comments down below. And if you want to watch me in a lot of pain, go and watch me run the IGO 101.